heartache this season, the last two races have seen Will Power begin to take back the championship reins and is poised to be.
It's a beautiful day for a drive-through wine country.
Will Power to victory here at Infineon Raceway. The green flag for the inaugural Baltimore Grand Prix waves, and for Will Power, his dream of winning another race in the battle for the championship has come true. Heading into the final road course race of the year, Power sits only 5 points behind his rival, Dario Franchitti. As Saturday ends here in the States, over in Japan, it's race day. 26 stars of IndyCar have traveled to Twin Ring Motegi for a final race at this venue. And after Milwaukee, Dario and Will were tied. After Toronto, Will was 55 behind, but with 3 wins, Will Power has closed that advantage to just 5 points. Dario with a 5-point advantage as we head into this event. Mathematically, there are still 4 drivers eligible for the championship, but realistically only Franchitti and Power. Dixon and Serbia 77 and 140 points behind respectively. Tony Kanaan and Ryan Briscoe separated by 12 points for 5th, and just 21 markers separate 7 through 10. A Honda pace car driven by Johnny Rutherford has the field behind him, 26 cars strong. 63 laps around this track equates to just less than 188 miles of competition here this afternoon.
Wally, I bet you $10 that Tony Kanaan's ahead of Danica by turn 1.
Oh, I wouldn't take that bet. Not on your life. I bet Scott Dixon has found his red shoe he was missing. We'll see what happens going into turn 1.
That comment from Robin Miller that you'll hear from as we go through the race. Now the cars begin to line up down the front straightaway, and the green flag is out. Here we go in the final race from Twin Ring Motegi.
What kind of start was that? I don't think half these guys knew it was starting. It seemed like, and Castroneves off the track.
That's very deep gravel over there, and we've heard that if you go in,
that was very nice.
Elio able to make it through the gravel. We've heard if you go in straight, you're going to be okay. If you get sideways in that gravel, you're done. So let's keep an eye on things. Here is Graham Rahal looking to the inside of Will Power, trying to take second position, as now Scott Dixon has begun to pull away just a little bit from Power, tried to make that move early.
Yeah, Power lost a little ground on Dixon because Power had to run off the racetrack to avoid contact with Dixon, so he lost about 5 car lengths on the leader.
Now, when you saw Castroneves going through that deep sand, as you were talking about, Bob, that sand they have found, as long as you keep going straight and you keep it rolling, it's tough to get through.
As you see, Rahal putting the pressure on Power.
And that is...
boy, that was really a kind of a
real weird
bad start. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of guys in the back that weren't even lined up yet.
Yeah, you're right. It looked like that most of them were not even anticipating the green flag to come out, but it has. And Scott Dixon is leading by just about a half a second over Will Power.
Castroneves, he is back to what, 12th, 13th spot. Boy, he lost a lot of ground. At least he didn't stall over there when he went through the sand, but boy, he lost a lot of ground.
Kimball's had a great start, Wally.
Yeah.
On board with Will Power, chasing down Scott Dixon up ahead.
Bob, what will be interesting here is to see if Will Power and Scott Dixon see what happens as far as how hard they run with the fuel strategy, because they may back off, or will they go like rabbits? Right now, Power's pushing it.
Let's take a look at this restart and see if we can find out a little bit more about what happened.
See what happened at Castroneves here. See him. I think he probably dove to the inside to avoid hitting Briscoe. They kind of got boxed up there. There was like 3 abreast going into turn 1. I think that was just an evasive move, but boy, it cost him on the racetrack.
The guy that really made a nice move there on this start was Charlie Kimball, who's up into 4th spot.
And Castroneves is back in 21st spot.
Wow.
Boy, just riding on this onboard is so smooth. I mean, just Muto's in.
Hideki Muto in the 17 car in for an early pit stop. Got rid of the black tires and now is on the alternates.
That is one of the strategies if you're on a 3-stop strategy. You want to get rid of those blacks, so you start on them, run a few laps, and now you're going to be obviously destined to a 3-stop race, Kevin.
And it's Hideki Muto's first race in IndyCar this year. He'd been here the last 3 seasons. He's had some success, especially when he was in Andretti Autosport. He does have experience at this track. He raced in the Formula Nippon event here earlier this year. He's been doing Super GT. He is hoping to get back to IndyCar full time, and he's hoping this is something that can jumpstart him to that path.
This is Briscoe running in 5th position. Franchitti is right behind him, and up ahead is Charlie Kimball. Franchitti has gained 3 positions since the drop of the green, so has Charlie Kimball. Kanaan is up 2, although he is still behind Danica Patrick. Danica is 22nd and Kanaan 23rd, so TK didn't make quite the move that we thought he might. Sebastian Bourdais has also moved up 2, and Pontono up 1. Bourdais moving up to 12th spot, and Pontono is up to 17th. Here once again is a replay of the start. Well, looks like that he and Briscoe got really close there.
Yeah, they went 3 wide. Where Kimball dove to the inside, and they kind of went 3 wide. And I just think that, see right there?
Yeah.
I just think Castroneves just wanted to avoid his teammate, and he was coming in there. He was smoking in there, wasn't he?
But when you keep an eye on Kimball, what a great first turn for him. He went way to the inside aggressively and picked up a bunch of spots.
And we're going to see a lot of activity here the next couple of laps. Tires not out for Will Power or Scott Dixon. We're watching Graham Rahal come in right in front of Ryan Briscoe. Note on Briscoe's car, Rick Reineman is back over the wall, changing the outside front. He's taken back over as the crew chief of that team. Matt Johnson is taking over the Chevy program, developing the car for next year. Great stop for Briscoe. He gets a spot and gets out ahead of Rahal.
Not a good stop for Rahal.
Never is. He always loses spots in the pits.
And De Oliveira is pulling off course.
Maybe out of fuel.
This could bring out a full course caution. Car is just shy of pit entrance.
So what you want is you want to be sure you pit now. You need to get into the pits before they close it. So if you see him stopped, you need to get in. Look at this scramble on pit road, but many people didn't stop. That could cost them if they go yellow.
Simona De Silvestro comes out. So does Elio. There's Vitor Miron, the ABC Supply Company special.
He can't get the fuel hose in. His car's too far away.
Yep.
Wow. That is a huge loss of time. And you know, if you have multiple cars coming in, that's an easy thing to do. Here comes the leader.
And second. Dixon and Power both on pit lane.
And they made it before it went yellow, so they're clean.
Dixon out.
Will Power is in. He's at the front of pit road. Dixon, the leader, is going to come out. There's a race on pit road, and Dixon is going to just barely squeeze in front of him. And this is a tough area because it funnels down into one lane, so you can't race side by side exiting pit road.
That was close. Now we'll see what Will
He's
can
also
do.
back out too.
See if Will Cal can pass him. Will slides the rear end of the car around, but and now we have the full course caution.
Man, were those guys fortunate, and I have a feeling that race control gave them a break. That they waited. They knew that if they had thrown the yellow, they would have caught out the 2 leaders, and they waited, and that was a good call.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You're 100% right, Jan.
Paul Blevin to the flag stand, waves the double yellow, so the first full course caution of the race comes at lap number 22.
And the car was, the car was in a safe area, so they could go ahead and do that. It wasn't blocking the track.
Right. Should be going green here in just a moment. The biggest movers so far. Look at this. Tony Kanaan, who started back in 25th, we saw make an early pit stop, has moved up to 7th position, gaining 18 spots since the start of the race. Here comes the restart as the cars line up 2 by 2. Here we go as Scott Dixon takes off toward turn number 1.
Franchitti got into Briscoe.
Yeah.
He got into Briscoe, and Briscoe got into Rahal.
This is points big in the points race here, guys.
Charlie Kimball tries to get back on track.
Well, Dario's still running.
Here's the replay. Dario was.
Dario. Yep. And that just starts a domino effect. That's definitely what started
contact.
Let's see what kind of penalty he gets, because he better get one.
Because he just
That's
we've been talking about it all year. Hey, you punch somebody in the right rear going into a corner.
Yep.
You should be paying a visit to pit lane.
I mean,
3 abreast going into the corner, and
well, that's exactly what Briscoe. He tapped Ryan Hunter-Reay, and he got a penalty. So Dario deserves a penalty.
Look behind. And I mean, what can you say?
well, that caution we had
Chip, what's
for
the penalty?
Well, yeah, we had to go to the back of the line there for avoidable contact. I'd say it looked like a pretty ambitious move down there in turn 1.
So that's how you saw it as well. You don't really take issue with this call?
No, I'm just a little disappointed. Took out 3 of my cars. Took out 3 of our 4 cars there. Put 3 of his back. The other 2 guys were having great days. It's just terrible that one of our own, one of their teammates took their 2 guys out. It's terrible.
Thank you. Chip Ganassi.
wow.
All right, here we go. Let's try this again.
They're 2 by 2 in the first 2 rows, and that's it. Here's the green flag as we go racing once again at Twin Ring Motegi.
Tony Kanaan, you saw him dive into the pits before the restart. He had to do that for fuel.
It's a pretty nice move by Marco. He had a pretty good restart there.
James
Picked up a couple
Jakes
spots.
running in 3rd position.